Welcome again. In my previous video I talked about Olfactive Studio, a very interesting perfume brand from France. I expressed my first emotions after sniffing Sepia collection that includes, for example, Violet Shot, Rose Shot, Chypre Shot. In this video let's talk about other fragrances from Olfactive Studio. There are some really interesting ones. We have 11 perfumes to review. Let's begin with Flashback and my first emotions about it. Okay, let's see here. Wow. Oh, that's really nice. That's something I would enjoy. Yeah, it's very fruity, a bit soapy, a bit green, a bit citrusy. This one I really like. Very relaxed. It's almost a whisper fragrance. The connection between the scent and the photograph. Strange that I thought of it as a perfume whisper. Maybe this photograph made me think so. In fact, it's a very talkative fragrance. It has a lot to say with its bright citrusy notes. It opens up with a very realistic rhubarb note, very juicy, grapefruit, orange, apple, yes, very nice, fruity, lovely notes, vetiver, cedar, very clean, pleasant, woody background. Everything is right and good here. The only problem I have are the masks. I'm very picky with the masks, especially when they are in the same bottle with citruses. This combo is usually not so appealing to me. The masks here are soapy, skin-like, you know what they call your skin but better. Usually I avoid such accord. That's why this fragrance is not so attractive for me. Maybe I will rate it as 5.5 on 10 because the juicy start is beautiful, but the dry down is not so comfortable for me because of the mask. Next is the Flashback in New York. Aromatic, a bit leathery fragrance. Quite masculine leaning, but still very warm. I can see the note of papyrus, this feeling of paper. I feel something fresh there. It reminds me something citrusy. It's not something I would wear on myself, but let's give it a try. I figured out what it reminds me. It is similar to Le Labo Santal 33, but more leathery. I like this one. I also like Santal 33, but it's not on top of my wishlist, so I still don't own a bottle. Despite my hard relationship with leather accord, I find this one interesting. After a while, it sits on the skin rather comfortably, a bit herbal, a bit floral. The notes are cumin, clary sage, saffron, violet, leather, jasmine, birch smoke, papyrus, vetiver and tonka. So it's rather close to Santal 33, isn't it? And then this birch smoke. When I focus, I do understand what authors meant as a birch smoke. It's a bit like sauna scent, I would say. So yeah, it's a great woody scent, but it has nothing to do with original Flashback. It's a totally different profile. I will rate Flashback in New York as a 7 on 10. I wouldn't wear it often, but I still think it's great, beautiful, a bit smoky fragrance. I like it more than original Flashback. Let's move on to Chambre Noire. Again, the leather. I don't know what it's gonna take for me to really like the leather and enjoy this note. It's quite a masculine fragrance, very warm, a bit smoky leather fragrance. It's very intimate, but very strong, very potent. It's a fragrance that can boost your confidence, you know. This fragrance will speak for you. This perfume, it's like a bunch of expensive items, expensive paper, premium quality leather, like a leather wallet. It's like a scent of something new, newly produced, like a new dairy with crispy paper and leather cover. The notes here are jasmine, papyrus, violet, incense, prune, sandal, patchouli musk, vanilla and leather. I'm not a big fan of it, to be honest. For me it feels a bit dusty, sharp. It's slightly smoky because of incense. It's beautiful, but not my favorite. I would rate it as 6 on 10, and I wouldn't reach for this fragrance. It just doesn't appeal to me that much. Next we have Still Life and Still Life in Rio. I will talk about them together. Still Life. Oh wow. Smells like a party. Freshly cut fruits. There are some boozy notes in it. Some citruses. It's sweet. I would say it's even a gourmand fragrance, like a cocktail. I like how they choose the name for this fragrance, the Still Life. So far my favorite from this collection. Next are my first impressions about Still Life in Rio. The next one is Still Life in Rio. It is quite similar to the previous one. Yes, there is some similarity, but this one has coconut in it, which makes it even more sweet, even more gourmand. Yeah, if I can describe this fragrance in one word, it would be delicious. From my first impression, I think I prefer the previous one. I would wear both of them. They are both delicious, such lovely summery fragrances. Still Life is a juicy cocktail made with yuzu, elemi, peppers, anise and rum. It's sweet and citrusy sparkling scent. Still Life is so fresh and pleasant, it's addictive perfume. Still Life in Rio is quite similar but goes a bit further and features the note of coconut water that is really prominent, ginger, mint, mandarin. Both scents are perfect for summer, for a party maybe, or even on a daily basis. I like them both and it's hard to decide which one I prefer. Still Life is appealing because of how they made a fragrance with so prominent resonance note of elemi, so fresh and airy. But Still Life in Rio, it feels so tasty on the skin, and for now I can say I'm gravitating more towards the second one. It's more interesting, more complicated, so I will rate Still Life as 8.5 on 10 and In Rio as 9 on 10. They are both perfect but need occasion, especially the second one. Let's move on to Panorama. Oh, it's very spicy green. They describe it as green and wild, and I definitely agree. I think you need to be a brave person to wear such a fragrance and enjoy it. A bit aggressive. It's really wild fragrance. Oh. Panorama feels so masculine leaning. It's a weird fragrance. The brand talks about wasabi accord, hot and spicy. Also among the notes, fig leaf, bergamot, lemon, violet, fresh cut grass, fir balsam, and some other notes. And yes, it's a super green, like a freshly cut grass, and at the same time very spicy. It bites my nose. Yeah, I don't know who can wear such a fragrance. Maybe a very confident young man, because it's a very loud, bright fragrance. I cannot imagine myself wearing such a fragrance. It's too sharp and even strangely soapy. I will give this fragrance 3 out of 10 in my personal rating of wearability. I'm sorry, but it seems too challenging for me. Lumiere Blanche and my first impression of it. This looks like something I would really enjoy. First thing comes to my mind is a slight medicinal accord, like some kind of hospital smell, to be honest, but in a good way, in a very comforting way. The second thing that comes to my mind is like a herbal tea with a bit of milk, some cardamom, some spices, something that you would drink when you are sick. It makes me sleepy. That's so funny. I start to lose the trace of it already. I was hoping that it's gonna be a comforting smell like a pyjama among the fragrances. Yeah, I still think of it as a glass of milky tea with cardamom, but a cold one. It feels a bit too cool, a bit too dusty, fuzzy, but I have to admit it has some sort of calming effect. The notes are promising: cardamom, anise, cinnamon, iris, all soaked in almond milk and accompanied with woody notes. It's an interesting creation and I enjoy just spraying it on my skin, but when I tried to live a day with it, I didn't quite enjoy it, honestly. Maybe this perfume is just not my cup of tea, or maybe I need to spend more time with it. For now, I would rate it as 6.5 out of 10. It's not something I would reach for getting ready in the morning. Maybe it will grow on me later, let's see. Next comes Autoportrait and my first emotions. elemi, benzoin. Those are the first things I feel. It's quite masculine. It has a strong personality. It's quite sensual. This one is a very elegant, timeless Chypre. It's beautiful, woody and resinous, very deep scent without any artificial sweetness in it. Autoportrait is made of bergamot, elemi, benzoin, incense. Also we have musks, oak moss, cedar, vetiver. A touch of incense here, it's just right. It gives perfume a slight smoky feel. This fragrance almost melts on the skin. Balsamic notes in here become very warm. Fragrance is balanced. It's a perfume that doesn't have to prove anything to anyone. It's just good by itself. I give it 7 out of 10. I would not wear it often, but maybe once in a while. It's great fragrance. Very attractive resinous notes here. They are just perfect. Next comes Woody Mood. That sounds good. The first thing I felt is something very sweet, like a sugary sweet. They mentioned ginger. Okay, I'm not a big fan of leathery notes in perfumery. For me it smells more like a bit aged wood furniture. I don't know, it doesn't bring me to the forest, to be honest. I wish this leather accord would be replaced with something else, something more green. So overall I can describe it as a sweet leathery fragrance with the strong deep wood notes. I kind of like it though. I'm really sorry, but I don't like the leather part of this story. After all, I can say I really like this fragrance. Leather accord that I was afraid of, it fades quickly. This fragrance gives a sensation of damp foliage, wet moss in the forest, very deep, calm fragrance. For me it feels surprisingly sweet. It opens up with notes of bergamot, ginger, sage. Also features notes of black tea and cacao. I also feel the scent of pine seeds, very delicious. If you're looking for the sweet pine scent, that is the one. They mention a sequoia accord. Sequoias are the most massive trees on our planet. They're stunning. On our biology class at school, we were asked to make a botanic illustration, and for some reason I choose to draw a sequoia cone. So I draw a full paper-sized chunky cone, and I meticulously draw and colored every scale and bract on the cone. It took me a while to finish the drawing, but it was really cute. Some nice memories. I would give Woody Mood 8 out of 10 for this delicious pine seed accord, very cozy. So here are my first emotions about Close Up. First comes the cherry, and then comes the fecal note. Oh no. Oh no, it really smells like a toilet. Oh god. Maybe I should try to wear it on the skin. Is it the amber that's doing that? Or is it tobacco? Oh no. No. What can I say? I believe it's tobacco that I perceived as a smell of a toilet. It's so prominent. Let's look at the notes. Green coffee, fresh spices, cherry, yes, white tobacco, patchouli, cedar, rose amber, musk, tonka. You know, fragrances are so subjective, so individual. Don't take my word for it. For me it's a no. This tobacco is repulsing. But overall idea of this fragrance sounds so interesting. Tobacco, cherry, green coffee. I will rate this fragrance 2 out of 10. Composition is really promising, but it's not appealing to me at all. And the last one, Ombre Indigo. It's very interesting color of the sample. I can see the note of tuberose. I really like tuberose. First impression, an aquatic leather fragrance. Give me association with a bonfire next to the lake or next to the river in the evening, the midsummer in Nordic countries. I like the sweet undertone of this fragrance. Fresh, clean, airy opening despite its smokiness. I was talking about midsummer in Nordic countries, and yeah, it has this vibe. Fresh night air, aquatic notes, floral notes, the scent of bonfire in the background. It's really unusual perfume. Even though it contains some heavy notes, saffron, leather, amber, it's nicely compensated with the notes of petitgrain, tuberose, woody notes of vetiver, papyrus. Overall, it's a smoky aquatic scent with the tuberose quite prominent. Very surprising and rather easygoing scent. Definitely unisex. I will give this fragrance 7 out of 10. I find it unique, unusual, enigmatic. Okay, so those were all the fragrances from Olfactive Studio that I have, and it was a very nice experience for me. My favorite from the brand is still Rose Shot, but also I enjoy Still Life and Rio, Still Life Original and Woody Mood. I really think it's a brand worth trying, so thank you for being here and have a good day.